Hey, ever wondered why phones change their size over time? Just like eyebrows. Large in the 80s, tiny in the 2000s, and now fake again. Go figure. Well, there's a reason for that, and for loads of more interesting facts you've probably never heard about. Before the 19th century, scientists were called natural philosophers because the concept of science wasn't invented yet. Fear can be passed down through generations. Scientists discovered it by training mice to be afraid of a cherry blossom smell. When new babies were born, they had a similar fearful response. A single strand of hair can hold a deck of cards, and a full head of human hair could hold 2 hippos, with no hairs broken or follicles pulled out. Oranges are a subtropical fruit, and their color depends on where they grow. In 4-season climates, their original green color turns orange when it gets cold, but in places where it's always hot, they remain green. You get the chills while listening to your favorite music because your body releases a chemical called dopamine. It's associated with pleasure and motivation. In 1997, scientists from Cornell University developed the world's tiniest functioning guitar. It was the size of a human cell. In 2005, an Australian institute made a study on the mysterious disappearance of workplace teaspoons. An average lightning bolt has enough energy to toast about 100,000 slices of bread. The top speed of the first American race car was 7.5 miles per hour. The automobile had its first race in November 1895. Barbed wire appeared in 1867. It was a cheap fencing solution, and it ended up putting many cowboys out of business. You need to use more than 200 muscles to take a single step. Donald Weider was the inventor of plastic eggs and plastic grass. He holds a total of 1,397 patents in the U.S. alone. Thomas Edison only held 1,093 U.S. patents. Which reminds me, Thomas Edison didn't actually invent the light bulb. Sir Humphrey Davy, Joseph Swan, and several other inventors experimented with electricity long before. Edison worked with their theories, found a solution which actually worked, and then commercialized it. Heat changes water density. That's why cold water makes a higher pitch sound when you're pouring it than hot water. A 2011 study states that we're just one out of the 8.7 million species that have ever existed on Earth, and 86% of them are yet to be described. For years, maps showed an island that didn't exist. It was a small landmass the size of Manhattan in the South Pacific Ocean. It was discovered in 1876 and later added to all maps. It wasn't until 2012 when a group of Australian researchers found out the island didn't actually exist. Tornadoes can occur over big bodies of water and then move toward land. In this case, they're likely to carry large amounts of water and aquatic creatures. That's when it can rain fish. Such tornadoes are known as waterspouts. Sweat doesn't have a smell. The culprit is the bacteria on our skin. They break down sweat into acids, which causes that, unpleasant odor. After scientists gathered and examined all the data about the Bermuda Triangle, they made a curious conclusion. Vessels are no more likely to disappear in the Bermuda Triangle than anywhere else in the ocean. Frederick Groff was the chief engineer who came up with the idea of the fire hydrant in the 1800s. Ironically, the patent on his invention was lost in a fire in 1836. Pluto, the furthest dwarf planet from the Sun, was discovered in 1930. It takes 248 Earth years for the planet to complete one orbit around the Sun. So, technically, Pluto will have its first birthday since we've discovered it in 2178. Sharks appeared long before trees. The oldest tree species, as we know them today, go back 350 million years. And toothy sea creatures have been cruising the oceans for more than 400 million years. Every time you shuffle a deck of cards, you get a combination that's never existed. Your chance of shuffling a deck of cards into the same order is 1 followed by 68 zeros. Phones keep getting bigger and bigger because of us users. Not so many people want their phones to be easy to grasp and carry. Most prefer to have large devices and use them for reading, playing games, and watching videos. In the 1870s, cats were hired to deliver mail in a small city in Belgium. But their career didn't last long. While one cat could reach its destination in 5 hours, others took up to a day to arrive. The average person has 7 social media accounts nowadays. In 2012, this number was more than twice smaller. The little blue bird on Twitter's logo is named Larry. "Pardon my tartle" is a uniquely Scottish expression. You're supposed to use it when you meet someone familiar but can't recollect their name. But you can only say it if you eventually figure out who this person is. Polar bears are classified as marine mammals. Scientists can also extract their DNA from their footprints. In 2008, a 19-year-old from the UK legally changed his name to Captain Fantastic faster than Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, Wolverine, Hulk, and The Flash combined. Needs a nickname, definitely. Your brain is responsible for sending messages through your nerves. These signals travel between 1 and 268 miles per hour. Johnny DeFrancesco holds the Guinness World Record for the cheesiest pizza. His masterpiece contained 154 varieties of cheese. Ravens, chimpanzees, and monkeys can feel when someone's watching them. It's called the theory of mind. Baby carrots are regular carrots that have been chopped off. They appeared in 1986 when a farmer's carrots grew deformed and he couldn't sell them. To solve this problem, he took out his potato peeler and rebranded them. Mosquitoes can find you by your smell. A newly invented repellent spray doesn't make your scent unattractive. It makes you invisible to insects. Batman's online screen name is John Doe 297. Basketball got its name from actual baskets. In the past, the hoops were peach baskets attached to wooden panels. They were finally replaced with metal rings and nets in the 1900s. Chip bags are pumped with nitrogen to preserve the freshness of the snack and to prevent chips from breaking during transportation. There are up to 27,000 eating establishments in New York City alone. It would take you 71 years if you decided to eat in a new place every day. Artist Yvonne Albrecht was so detail-oriented in his work that he often used a single-haired brush to create a wrinkle or an eyelash. It could take him a day to finish a part of a painting as big as an SD card. 57% of internet users have Googled themselves. How about you? What was the first thing that showed up? Let me know down in the comments. The microwave was invented by accident when engineer Perry Spencer walked by a radar and a candy bar in his pocket melted. And the first food cooked in a microwave on purpose was popcorn. What else? Apollo 11 astronauts went through customs after coming back from the moon. They had to declare everything they had brought with them – moon dust, moon rocks, and whatever else they had found on the Earth's satellite. And finally, this tidbit. Recent studies prove coffee hydrates you almost as much as water.